We are getting breaking news, actually being provided by our audience, so thank you for that, that Julius Jones' sentence has been commuted to life by the governor of Oklahoma. We had actually been prepared to talk about the run-up to this, these final steps of appeals on the show, and it's one of those rare times when the answer is given during the show, and one of the far rarer times where the news is actually good. So the sentence is going to be commuted to life in prison without the possibility of parole. That's an executive order that the governor put forward today. CNN is reporting this. Now, look, that is obviously better than the governor denying it and Julius Jones dying. It also isn't great, and I don't see how we can consider it justice. Like, when the system is so messed up that anything other than the worst thing seems good, man, you know that you've been beaten down over time by this system. Why am I not seeing this story? I think, my team was trying to help me out by moving it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Governor Kevin Stitt put out a statement saying, after prayerful consideration and reviewing materials presented by all sides in this case, I have determined to commute Julius Jones' sentence to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. As a condition of granting clemency, Stitt ordered that Jones shall never be eligible to apply for or be considered for a commutation, pardon, or parole for the rest of his life. That was a fun sentence to read. So again, how can you do something that is kind of the best result we could have hoped for, considering the circumstances, and yet be miles and miles from justice? Look, just in case, there's a very good chance that you, like me prior to this week, I was not familiar with this case. I'm going to give you details. So, Julius Jones had been scheduled to be executed by lethal injection at 4 p.m. Today. He's been on death row for nearly 20 years since a killing in 1999 of Paul Howell. So he was convicted and sentenced. He has maintained his innocence ever since then, saying that one of his, this other individual, Christopher Jordan, a high school friend and co-defendant in the original case, was actually the one who did the killing. Now, Jordan testified against him, was released from prison after 15 years. He says that is the individual that actually did the killing. So, look, I am not going to claim, very often I do not, I am not going to claim that I am an expert on this case, or that even if I were an expert on this case, I would be able to say with 100% certainty what actually happened back in 1999 and who actually did this. A person saying they didn't do it by itself is not proof. The fact that we very frequently lock up, hold for the rest of their lives, or even execute people who did not commit the crimes, even when there's maybe in some cases, indisputable evidence that they did not commit the crimes, that by itself doesn't prove that he didn't do it. But I will say that there are concerns that have been around for a very long time. A juror in Jones's trial wrote in an affidavit after Jones's conviction that during the trial, another juror engaged in premature deliberations and used a racial epithet while saying they should take Jones behind the jail and shoot him. So, great jury there. The jury was also not shown a photo of Jones taken days before Howell's killing that the petition says would have shown, this is a petition for appeal, says would have shown he did not match the shooter's description. Several jurors have come forward and indicated this evidence might have changed the outcome of the case. And changing the outcome of the case might have meant that he never spent a day in jail, potentially. And so all of this has all been around for a very long time. He says, his friends say, his family say he didn't do it. They say that he had an alibi. The authorities looked into it and they said that they don't think it was a valid alibi. But again, you know, the system, God only knows. What we do know, though, is that you don't get Paul Howell back if you kill Julius Jones, okay? And that he has already spent 20 years in prison. So now, as a product of what happened today in this breaking news, he will never be able to apply for anything that will result in him not spending the last days of his life in prison. So, again, how excited are we supposed to be? How satisfied are we supposed to be? Is this supposed to be justice? That if the man is innocent, he shouldn't be in prison at all, right? Now, Kevin Stitt didn't say that his decision to do this means he thinks he's innocent, but you have to look into the evidence and you have to decide, do you think that he was or not? Again, there is nothing gained by the state murdering people. Indisputable, nothing is gained. The idea that it's some sort of deterrent has been, that idea has been knocked down for literally decades. So anyway, look, I'm glad that this happened, you know, in comparison to how this story could have ended, but the system is so messed up. And what's interesting too, my final note, I guess, on this is, there are elements of this that are so similar to cases going on in America right now. Like, you don't see shades of the McMichael trial or the Rittenhouse trial in this. Jurors with, you know, the racial biases, juries being selected to seemingly deliver a certain product, evidence not being shown or not being allowed. I mean, they wouldn't show a photo that might make him not fit the description that had been given by the witnesses. You know, they're not allowed to call in the Rittenhouse case the people that he killed victims. There's so many manipulations. This is from 1999. We are 22 years out from that. And are we any closer to justice? Like, a system that delivers justice more regularly. Anyway, I guess it's good news. Let's take, I guess, the good news that we can get.